James Trafford's dream return to Manchester City has taken an unexpected turn just months after his £27 million move from Burnley. Once tipped as England's next top goalkeeper and seen as a long-term successor to Jordan Pickford, the 23-year-old now finds himself struggling for game time at the Etihad with Gianluigi Donnarumma's arrival, pushing him down the pecking order. Trafford's international ambitions are under threat. Although a late call-up to the England squad following Nick Pope's withdrawal offers temporary relief, his lack of club action raises serious questions about his future, and whether a January transfer might be the only way to revive his career and keep his England hopes alive. Manchester City signing discovers new status to spark January transfer question. James Trafford is back in the England squad after Nick Pope pulled out, but the Manchester City goalkeeper has fallen down the pecking order. James Trafford was England's third-choice goalkeeper when he signed for Manchester City, and at the very least had designs on being next in line behind Jordan Pickford soon enough. Instead, 3 months after his £27 million return to the Etihad, Trafford has dropped a place. He wasn't included in Thomas Tuchel's squad for the November internationals, and only got a reprieve when Nick Pope pulled out with a concussion. The 23-year-old will hope to impress in training, but the writing appears to be on the wall. Pickford and Dean Henderson are certainties for the World Cup, and if Pope continues to play regularly for Newcastle, that looks likely to edge him into the third-choice role. Trafford's issue is his lack of exposure. When signing for City in July, he expected to be competing with Ederson this season and would have backed himself to win that battle with the Brazilian. The reality has proven to be very different. He started the first 3 Premier League games of the season, but by then it was becoming clear that Ederson was on his way out, to be replaced by Gianluigi Donnarumma. The Italian is only 3 years older than Trafford, and has signed a 5-year contract, with the option of a further year. Since Trafford started against Brighton on the last day of August, his only further appearances have been in Carabao Cup wins against Huddersfield and Swansea. His next competitive outing is likely to be when Brentford visit the Etihad for a quarter-final tie the week before Christmas. Maybe the former Burnley goalkeeper will get games in the FA Cup, and he might start against Bodo Glimt or Galatasaray in the Champions League if City are on track to qualify, but it's not going to be enough to catch the eye. Trafford said at the start of this season he wanted to be City's number 1 for a decade, and he wants to be England's number 1 as well. Right now, neither looks likely to happen, although Guardiola said last week that he still felt he would get there. We have an incredible keeper. For England, sooner or later, he will be the one, he said. Dislodging Pickford is no easy task given the quality of his performances for the Three Lions, but it's an impossible task if you're not playing for your club, and that is where Trafford finds himself. We are delighted with his behaviour in training, Guardiola said of Trafford. Gigi learns from James, and James learns from Gigi. The goalkeepers are always connected, they train. They learn like I learn from the players, and hopefully the players learn from the staff. One of the reasons I want to go through in this competition is because they all have to be ready just in case they are needed in the Premier League or Champions League. There is a certain irony in Trafford replacing Pope in this month's England squad, given Newcastle wanted to sign him to challenge Pope this season. Only when the Magpies had a £27 million bid accepted by Burnley did it force City to match the offer. This isn't the scenario Trafford expected when he made that return to his former club. A departure already looks inevitable given his ambitions aren't going to be met at the Etihad, and if Trafford wants to make England's World Cup squad, he might even have to push for a move in January. City are unlikely to allow that, although with Stefan Ortega and Marcus Bettinelli at the club, they could absorb the loss of a goalkeeper. Pep Guardiola doubled down in crisis to produce Man City masterstroke. Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola has overseen a transition to a younger squad, but they have a wise old head leading them. Pep Guardiola was happy enough after Manchester City's win over Liverpool to give reporters 15 minutes of his time. The result isn't always an indicator of how open City's manager wants to be about a game or how positive, so he must have been in a good mood after Liverpool. One name that saw Guardiola's face instantly light up was Bernardo Silva. The 31-year-old was written off by many last season after becoming a lightning rod for criticism of an underperforming team. Like İlkay Gündoğan, he was one of few players to stay fit, but suffered as a result of everyone else being in the treatment room. In March, Silva angrily denied the suggestion that he and others needed to be moved on in the sweeping changes that Hugo Viana was taking the lead on to rebuild the squad. Guardiola agreed, and having been accused of favouritism and being overly sentimental all season for picking Silva, the manager doubled down and made him captain for this season. It has only been 5 months, but that already looks like a masterstroke. For all City have been energised by the fresh legs and faces in the team, they have been refocused by a man who knows exactly what it takes to reach the unprecedented heights that the team reached under Guardiola, and will not settle for less than that. We talked a lot with each other in those moments, especially in the bad moments, Silva said in Palermo ahead of the new campaign. You need to be straightforward with your guys. It was good. I think it was good because first of all we learned how to appreciate what we did in the past, which is not normal. We know that it's very difficult to replicate because going back, forgetting last season, on the last 7 we have won 6 Premier Leagues, which is ridiculous. We know that it's probably not going to happen again, but at the same time it's not about winning or losing, it's about competing for the title. We didn't even give it a try. I think emotional-wise we're definitely back. In terms of being hungry again, we're back. Let's see if we have the quality, because at the end, this is all very beautiful. But at the end, the quality on the pitch will make a difference if we're prepared to perform or not. One thing that Silva can never be accused of is not trying, and his engine is definitely still there. Phil Foden was the only player on the pitch to run more than him in Sunday's win over Liverpool. More than that though, the fight is there. When Guardiola talks about the good vibes he is seeing in the squad, it is Silva who has taken responsibility to ensure that all of the players are giving off that energy. And when they take to the pitch, it is Silva ensuring they all go to war with each other. City's captain hasn't been perfect this season and does have limitations to his game, yet he has started against Liverpool and Arsenal and led the team superbly. Everyone to a man, starting from him, put every ounce of effort and intelligence into those 2 games and were 5 minutes away from coming away with 6 points rather than an already impressive tally of 4. Bernardo was struggling last season, but he was there every single game. Guardiola beamed on Sunday, exhausted. After 50.6 minutes, he could not run 1 minute, and in certain moments he said, "Pep, I'm drained. My mind is not anymore. It's defeat, defeat, defeat." The Manchester City superstar in the making who has it all. Physical specimen. Manchester City have supplied 5 players to England under-17 World Cup squad, and one of them is catching the eye at the tournament. Ryan Heskey might be a quiet individual, but his performances are certainly creating a lot of noise. The Manchester City prospect is highly rated at the Etihad and is currently starring for England at the under-17 World Cup. Heskey scored twice as England saw off Egypt in their final group game and missed a penalty, which would have yielded a hat-trick to book a place in the knockout stages. The Young Lions lost their opener to Venezuela, but bounced back with 2 wins, securing a last 32 tie. Heskey now has 3 goals in as many games, having also found the net in the 8-1 demolition of Haiti. And his brilliant brace against Egypt showcased the talent that has plenty of Etihad insiders tipping him for big things. His first was a thunderous finish, while his blistering pace took him away from the defenders for his second, and the 17-year-old finished with composure. Heskey, son of former England star Emile, has been in fine form at club level this season with 2 goals in 5 Premier League 2 games. And his latest showing for the Young Lions was a clear reminder of his obvious ability, with England under-17 coach Neil Ryan waxing lyrical about the City man after the contest. "He's highly talented," Ryan said. "He's a real physical specimen with a great eye for goal. He can create and score. He's a real threat. He's got a very good mentality too. He's never too high or too low. He's focused, and we've been waiting for those types of performances from Ryan. He's delivered. I thought he was excellent tonight, as were a number of players. I'm really pleased for Ryan." City have 5 players in the England squad, the highest representation of any other club, with another Harrison Miles, adding the 3rd against Egypt with a sensational solo run from his own half. It's an encouraging sign for the City Academy, where the club have a stated aim of trying to produce a homegrown Ballon d'Or winner. That will feel a long way off to Heskey and co just now, but the chance to win a World Cup with the Young Lions would be a milestone moment in fledgling careers. The noise level around Heskey would certainly ratchet up if he helped deliver the trophy. Pep Guardiola has already made next Calvin Phillips move clear with Manchester City comment. Calvin Phillips has been involved with the Manchester City first team this season, but his future still lies away from the Etihad. Pep Guardiola was discussing his options in the holding midfield role on Friday when he explained how they had shrunk in recent weeks. This is a small thing, but we don't have Kova now for the next time as well. So we have 3 holding midfielders proper and just 1 fit, he said. Guardiola was confirming Mateo Kovacic had joined Rodri on the sidelines, with Nico Gonzalez now the only player fit and available to play that position at the base of midfield. When City trained soon after, Calvin Phillips might have been trying to get his manager's attention. The 29-year-old is fit and available and in the Premier League squad. His inclusion in the list submitted to the Premier League came as a surprise, given that his squad number had been stripped away in the summer. Had he not been injured throughout the window, he would have left the club. In September, he was even back on the pitch, playing the final 7 minutes in the Carabao Cup win at Huddersfield. But that hasn't been the start of a renaissance. He was an unused substitute in the next round at Swansea, and despite being in the list of players available in the top flight,